Well. Shopping for a car?
Yep, Carvana made financing a car as smooth as can be.
Oh, yeah?
I got pre-qualified instantly and had real terms personalized just for me.
Doesn't get much smoother than that.
Well, I got to browse thousands of car options on Carvana, all within my budget.
Doesn't get much smoother than that.
It does. I actually wanted a car that seemed out of my range, but I was able to add a cosigner and found my dream car.
It doesn't get much...
Oh, it gets smoother. It's getting delivered tomorrow.
Visit Carvana.com or download the app to get pre-qualified today.
Celebrity voice impersonation not an endorsement. Why go to a single furniture store when you can go to Big Sandy Superstore? Shop and compare America's top 5 mattress brands, plus Nectar and Purple. And choose from over 22,000 in-stock appliances from the top brands at the guaranteed lowest price. Or furnish the room of your dreams with a large selection of American-built furniture. With financing plans for just about anyone, there's nowhere else quite like it. Big Sandy Superstore.
Hello, good morning, angels, and welcome back to Morning Ray. I'm your host, LAN or Alana. Happy last Friday of August. I swear to God, I literally just recorded the bonus episode for July. Where did August go? I didn't realize that the last Friday of August was this week until today. So it's currently Wednesday, August 23rd when I'm recording this. This will air on the 25th when you're listening to this. Obviously, the same day that Selena Gomez and Miley Cyrus are, and I think Ariana Grande too, are coming out with their new songs. So in fashion of my favorite childhood artists, we are launching our bonus episode, number 2 for August. I think these are fun. I'm going to keep them Q&A episodes. So I took some questions that you guys sent me on my Instagram at Alana Bloomberg, compiled them, and we're going to answer them on today's episode. I answered some of these on stories, but obviously I can't really go super in depth in my response on stories because I don't want to bore you on there, and I can obviously talk a bit longer and be a bit more chatty with you guys here on the pod. Anyways, little life updates, even though it hasn't been that long since I last spoke to you guys. I'm really debating this half marathon. I have a 14K run on Sunday and I'm truly petrified. I don't want to go into this half marathon not feeling super confident and then have a bad experience while running it and then not want to ever do any races or a half marathon again. Like, I want to get addicted to it. I want to have a good experience. I want to feel really good about myself. So I'm like, do I wait and do the May half marathon? Like, do the Toronto half marathon instead of the Toronto waterfront half? But at the same time, I'm like, just like, stop being a wuss. This is how you're feeling before your 10K race and just do it. I don't know. I think I'm just like mentally beating myself up because you guys know I'm a perfectionist. I want everything to be perfect. I feel like I'm never good enough, a lot of imposter syndrome. So I haven't signed up yet. I was talking to Catherine Green about this because she is a running fanatic. She is insane. She runs so fast and runs a lot and has done a lot of races. And she also hasn't signed up yet. So we shall see. We'll see how the 14K goes. I'm going in with an optimistic mindset. But honestly, my 12K a few weeks ago was honestly really hard for me. I also think I was just like running too fast. So I just have to leave my ego at the door and just run a lot slower. Another thing that I'm currently really intrigued by, I've been seeing a lot of TikToks about lowering cortisol and how to do it, and I'm definitely have a lot of the symptoms and I've been feeling like a lot of things, and all my blood work has come back completely normal. So I'm interested to try to do these things because I feel like I am someone that naturally is just like very high strung and is continuously stressed. Let's figure out ways to lower cortisol. I think I'm going to do a full episode on like my findings and things like that, and also talk to Steph to see her input and whatnot, because that is kind of what she specializes in and has more knowledge on. Just ways to lower your cortisol and like why it's beneficial and like symptoms and things that you might have if you potentially have high cortisol. So stay tuned for that episode. Another thing that's been happening a lot is I think I had to delete Hinge because I just kept getting icked out by the guys on there. Like, I kept just like, I'd match with people and then talk to them for a little bit and then just get really icked out by them and unmatch them. So I don't know. I'm just really getting icked out by boys on dating apps. I don't think that's going to be how I meet my boyfriend or future husband on there. I don't think it's going to be a dating app, if we're being honest. But anyways, enough about me. Let's get into our questions. Well, your questions. Number 1, tips on how to stay motivated and get yourself out of a rut. I think motivation is something, well, I know. It's something that I know. I know that motivation is super short-lived. It comes unexpectedly. It can leave whenever. And that's why we really have to lean on our self-discipline and having these routines and these habits to lean on, because motivation is something that, like I said, it comes and goes and it's not reliable. It's very hot and cold. It's almost like your toxic relationship, and it's great and it can get you super excited and determined to do something, but it's your discipline that kind of keeps you going and keeps the car running. That's why building habits is super important and creating that habit loop. And we talk a little bit about this on my episode with Shelby Sacco. I'll have it linked in the show notes. And I also talk about motivation versus discipline on another episode, which I'll also link in the show notes, or you can just go and find it. But I think just like finding little things that you can get excited about or look forward to. One of the big things that has honestly really helped me with running, and I'm trying to be a bit more on myself about it, is giving myself a physical reward if I complete the run and I can run continuously and I don't just like stop for the sake of stopping because my brain is telling me to stop. So that is honestly helping because it's strengthening the habit loop pattern in my head, which is cue, routine, reward. So that's just like strengthening that pathway of creating this good, strong habit of running and like staying disciplined. In terms of getting yourself out of a rut, I think just changing your perspective on how you're seeing things. So for example, say you're upset that you slept in. Instead of being upset and mad at yourself that you slept in and that you lost all this time, flip your perspective to be like, I got to get a bit more sleep so that I'm more well rested and I have more energy to take on my day. I gave my body more time to recover and detox. So now I'm going to be in a better headspace when it comes to doing whatever I need to do today. Flip it to see the silver lining, like really encourage yourself to find the silver lining. And then another thing is put little things in your day that you know bring you joy. For example, if you know going on a little 15-20 minute walk each day is a mood booster for you, make sure you do that. Schedule time in to do that because that will really put you in a better headspace. If taking a really nice shower every morning or every night before you go to bed puts you in a better headspace, make sure you put aside the time to do that. If hanging out with your friends puts you in a good headspace, schedule in time and make plans with your friends to see them. I really think that like when you think of your future self and the things that you want and the things that make you feel good and you take the time and you put in the effort to make sure you get those things, it will really help you get out of a rut, put you in a better headspace, which in turn makes you feel motivated and more confident and more driven to go out and achieve your goals and to live the life that you want to live. Being super busy can make it really easy to fall into a dinner time recipe rut, or even with your lunches. Any meal, honestly, can get you into a rut, especially with a busy schedule this fall. You can keep mealtime exciting with over 40 recipes to choose from every single week, so there's always something delicious to discover with HelloFresh. It's truly a no-brainer. It does all the shopping and meal planning for you. Ingredients arrive at your doorstep, pre-proportioned and ready to cook, along with pictured step-by-step recipe cards. It's never been easier. I personally love HelloFresh as a way to get exposure to new recipes, make my life a bit easier as a busy 20-year-old in the city. And I love that it's worry-free, it's super easy, it's convenient, and gets delivered straight to my door. Go to hellofresh.com/50ray and use code 50ray for 50% off plus free shipping. That's hellofresh.com/50RAE and use code 50ray 50RAE for 50% off plus free shipping. HelloFresh is America's #1 meal kit, and thank you for sponsoring today's episode of Morning Ray.
Celebrity voice impersonation not an endorsement. Why go to a single furniture store when you can go to Big Sandy Superstore? Shop and compare America's top 5 mattress brands, plus Nectar and Purple. And choose from over 22,000 in-stock appliances from the top brands at the guaranteed lowest price. Or furnish the room of your dreams with a large selection of American-built furniture. With financing plans for just about anyone, there's nowhere else quite like it. Big Sandy Superstore.
I feel like my boyfriend and I are growing apart. I don't know if we should try to stick together or let go. I'm a huge believer of trusting your gut intuition. Obviously, I don't know much about your relationship or what you mean by growing apart, but I think gut intuition is a really important thing, and we have to learn to trust our guts more. Our gut really just knows, like, that gut intuition is always right. Whenever I go against it, I always wish I didn't. But it's totally normal and human for two individuals to grow apart. It happens. You're either going to grow with your partner or grow apart. And you can either choose to work through this by communicating with your partner how you're feeling, or you can choose to let it go and decide that this relationship, this person is no longer serving you. But I think you need to really just like hone in on, is it just this? Are there other factors? Like, write your pros and cons list of like staying together versus breaking up. Really just like evaluate the situation and lean on your gut instincts. Like, your gut will tell you. You can talk about it with your friends, you can come to me for advice, but at the end of the day, you're the only one that truly knows what your relationship with your boyfriend is like and how you're feeling in that relationship and the way that it is impacting you. So just like really go with that gut intuition. Maybe pull out your journal, do a little self-reflection. Is this the relationship that you want? Is this like what you want out of the relationship? Is this the person you can see yourself with? Is this worth fighting for? And then go from there. I always think like things are worth fighting for if it's worthwhile to you and if it's of value to you. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? That's a really good question. I see myself hopefully in a happy and healthy relationship. I see myself working on a business that I've recently started and being really driven and motivated towards that. I definitely still see myself working for myself, maybe having 1 or 2 employees under me. I think that would be really cool. I see myself signed with Dear Media on my podcast, like my podcast to be signed to Dear Media and getting to interview really cool guests and stuff like that. I still see myself living in Toronto. Maybe within the next 5 years, I'll have time to temporarily live in New York. I think that would be really cool. But that's all I really know in 5 years. How old am I in 5 years? Oh my God. I'm 29 in 5 years. So hopefully engaged and hopefully living with my boyfriend. Ideally, maybe married. I don't know. Like, will I be the person to like date my boyfriend for like 2 years and then get engaged? It's just so weird to me because I guess my parents didn't date that long, but my sister and her husband dated for 9 years before they got engaged. So the concept of like dating for less than 5 and getting engaged is kind of foreign to me, but that could be possible. I feel like 29, like a lot of people are like either engaged or recently married. My sister got engaged at 26. I don't know. I feel like I'm either going to be in a relationship with someone who I see myself marrying, or I'm going to be like engaged to that person or maybe married. I don't know. I'm definitely going to be in a relationship. I feel it. I feel it in my gut. I don't know. Had like this weird feeling last Saturday when I was getting ready to go out that I was like, I'm going to run into the person that's going to be my husband tonight. It was, I don't know. I didn't really meet any guys, but I definitely saw a lot of guys. And like I went to the bars and I just think maybe, I don't know, maybe they were in that room. We'll see. A little psychotic, a little manifest witchy nonsense. Advice on how to truly enjoy alone time. I think the more you do it, the more you become comfortable with the idea, the more you learn to love it and enjoy it and look forward to it. Definitely something that is more on the lines of exposure therapy. I'm someone who I would call an extroverted introvert, so I definitely love my alone time, but because I am introverted, I feel like it took me a while to gain the confidence and the self-esteem to be able to do things on my own. And now I love it. Like I love going and getting my nails done by myself, running errands by myself, going on walks by myself, going to the park by myself, working out, going to workout classes by myself. I feel like my list of things to buy, to do, activities that involve spending money is never ending around the holidays, making the idea of investing and saving and thinking about your future to be a little bit more challenging, a little bit more overwhelming. Acorns makes it easy to start automatically saving and investing for you, your kids, and your retirement, even during the holidays. You don't need to be an expert. Acorns will recommend a diversified portfolio that matches you. You don't need a ton of time. You can create your Acorns account and start automatically investing your money in just 5 minutes. You don't need to be rich. Acorns lets you get started with the spare money you've got right now. That could be $5 a day or even just your spare change. That's right, Acorns can round every purchase you make up to the dollar and automatically invest your spare change for you. And you can get bonus investments just for buying the stuff you need from the brands you love. I personally love Acorns. It's simplified the investment process, which can be overwhelming and intimidating, but it just makes it so simple, so easy, and something more accessible no matter how much money you have to invest. Head to acorns.com/Alana or download the Acorns app to start saving and investing for your future today. Paid non-client endorsement compensation provides incentive to positively promote Acorns. Investing involves risk. Acorns Advisors LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor. View important disclosures at acorns.com/Alana. I'm super excited about today's sponsor. They've sponsored the podcast before, and this is a topic I'm super passionate about. I fear that us as girls struggle with PMS far more than we should, and we really shouldn't. I truly get the worst PMS symptoms. My boobs are sensitive, my face breaks out, my sugar controllings are out of whack. I feel like I'm just a bottomless pit. My mood is not the vibe, and Estro Control has been super helpful in helping manage those PMS symptoms and making that time of the month a lot more enjoyable. Estro Control is a formula developed by Happy Mammoth, a supplement company dedicated to making women's lives easier. Say no more. Estro Control contains science-backed herbal extracts that help support hormonal health, especially if you are someone like myself who struggles with PMS. It was created to help women feel like themselves all month long and to not struggle with the feelings PMS can cause. For a limited time, you can get 15% off your entire first order at happymammoth.com. Just use the code Alana at checkout. That's happymammoth.com and use the code Alana for 15% off today. Honestly, the more you do it, the more confidence you get from it. And it's almost like a confidence booster because you're like, oh, I can do this by myself. I can do anything by myself. It's not always for everyone, but I think the more you do it, the more you learn how to appreciate it. And I think it's really important for everyone to be able to enjoy alone time and to know how to be independent and to be their own person. I talk about this more in a previous episode. It was called This Barbie is in Her Independent Era. I'll also link it in the show notes. I swear to God, my voice gets such bad vocal fry. I'm so sorry. How to stick with your goals and plans / how to make them exciting. I think if we set goals that are too big, it can be really overwhelming and daunting and you just don't know where to start. So if you take that big goal and you break it down and then work backwards, it makes it seem so much more achievable. It's kind of like in school when you have a project, the teacher gives you this to-do list of things to do for that project. Like say you're writing an essay, it's like, okay, you have to make your thesis statement, your introduction paragraph, your 3 body paragraphs, you have to make the sandwich sort of thing. It's almost like that. So if you do that with your goals, it makes it seem so much more achievable for you. And then in terms of making them exciting, I think giving yourself little rewards along the way so you can have something to look forward to at each milestone is really important. Kind of like what I was mentioning before with how with running, I've been attaching the act of running with a physical reward at the end of my run, like getting a coffee from my favorite coffee shop or breakfast out or something like that. I think that definitely helps. I also think having an accountability partner is really important. So verbally telling it to say your best friend, your coworker, maybe a mentor, maybe a peer, like someone, just like the act of saying it out loud and knowing that someone else knows of this goal or this plan can help keep you accountable. I love habit trackers. They're super cool. You can find so many online. Definitely like writing it out keeps it front of mind and brings it into your subconscious. So then each day you will like take actions to achieve that goal and to work towards that plan. I think also setting a why as to why you want to achieve whatever it is. If you don't have a deeper reasoning as to why you want to do something, you're not really going to have like the motivation or the motive to continue doing it. So figure out what that is and keep that as a reminder throughout each and every step that you take. Advice on finding yourself, finding your passions or interests, feeling lost and stuck. This is definitely something that a lot of 20-something-year-olds, a lot of recent grads, even I would say like post-secondary students, so if you're in university or college experience, I think it's important to learn how to let go of your ego and to leave your ego at the door and to be open to trying new things and new experiences, no matter what you're going to be like in doing them. I think as adults, I keep saying I think, but as adults, we expect ourselves to just be good at everything and only want to participate in things that we're good at for the majority of the time, versus as a kid, we kind of enter things without fear, without thought, like we just go in and try things. So I want you to encourage yourself to be open-minded, to think like a child when it comes to trying new activities and hobbies and things, and just take it for what it is. Give it time. It takes time to get good at something. It takes time to figure out if you actually like something or not. So just give yourself some grace and be open-minded to trying new things and just like seek out these things, because these activities and hobbies and clubs and communities are honestly all around you, especially if you live in a city. Everyone's looking for a way to connect and do different things. Like there's a whole lot of like run clubs. There's a lot of like beer run clubs. Like there's sports leagues. You can go and do pottery. There's book clubs. Like there's so many different things that you can participate in to help you find and figure out what your passions and your interests are and finding out like who you are as a person. Also just being open to meeting people and letting people into your life and creating these connections with other humans can help find and bring you to whatever these passions, interests, or whatever your new identity or your identity in general will and can be. A lot of the times we get stuck in a rut and we get stuck in a pattern of acting, behaving, and doing the same things that we've always done and what the people around us are doing. But if you take the conscious effort to go out of your way and to try new things and to be surrounded by new people and to experience different things, it really will just open your eyes and change your perspective on things. Finding the confidence to change career paths, especially when you're paid well. I think the payment thing is honestly really hard because you almost feel guilty.
Being super busy can make it really easy to fall into a dinner time recipe rut, or even with your lunches. Any meal, honestly, can get you into a rut, especially with a busy schedule this fall. You can keep mealtime exciting with over 40 recipes to choose from every single week, so there's always something delicious to discover with HelloFresh. It's truly a no-brainer. It does all the shopping and meal planning for you. Ingredients arrive at your doorstep, pre-proportioned and ready to cook, along with pictured step-by-step recipe cards. It's never been easier. I personally love HelloFresh as a way to get exposure to new recipes, make my life a bit easier as a busy 20-year-old in the city. And I love that it's worry-free, it's super easy, it's convenient, and gets delivered straight to my door. Go to hellofresh.com/50ray and use code 50ray for 50% off plus free shipping. That's hellofresh.com/50RAE and use code 50ray 50RAE for 50% off plus free shipping. HelloFresh is America's #1 meal kit, and thank you for sponsoring today's episode of Morning Ray.
This is the smell of a warm 3-day-old egg salad sandwich in a wimpy trash bag.
Wimpy, wimpy, wimpy! Blech!
And this is the smell of that same sandwich in a hefty, ultra-strong trash bag with new Fabuloso lemon scent.
Hefty, hefty, hefty!
Smell the difference? When life gives you stinky, get Hefty Ultra Strong with new Fabuloso Lemon Scent. It smells like clean, freshly picked lemons. So no matter what's inside your trash, you can stop the stink and smell the lemon.
If you don't like that job because you're being quote unquote paid well and you feel quote unquote guilty for giving it up if you choose to. But I think that if you don't, you'll always wonder what if. And I know when I was debating for a really long time if I wanted to try and go off on my own and to not work a 9 to 5 and to just solely work for myself, I was debating it all the time and wondering what if. And until I tried and until I did it, I didn't truly know. And now that I've done it, I'm so happy and proud of myself that I did it. Obviously, take your chances and everything. Like, take a calculated risk. Definitely don't just like act rashly. Be smart, be responsible. Don't let the fear of judgment and the fear of others impact you in whether or not you can change career paths. A lot of people like to just like stick in one path, but you don't have to. It's never too late. It's never too early. Go with your gut. It's okay to try new things. And if that thing doesn't work out, you can always go back to plan A. There are so many different routes and paths you can take. Think about your professors at university or college or even your teachers. For the majority, they all have lived, quote unquote, 1,000,001 different lives. They've all worked so many different career paths, except for the ones that are like full like scholars, like educational scholars. So many of my business professors have gone on to work so many different jobs in different fields and completely different roles before they became a professor. I still view them as like very intelligent and successful. So don't be afraid that it looks like you're failing or anything like that. Advice on how to get over being judged, fear of being seen, etc. This is definitely a tough one. I definitely used to be such a people pleaser. I would be so worried about how people would be judging me, how people saw me, what their perception of me was. And don't get me wrong, I definitely still struggle with this. And I think it does prohibit me from putting out certain types of content sometimes because I'm like, oh, well, I don't want guys I'm going on dates with to see this or hear this or think that about me. Or I don't want girls to think about this or for my peers from high school to see this and think that, blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, the only opinion that should matter to you is yours. People are always going to judge. And a lot of the times the judgment comes from a place of jealousy or insecurity. That's what it is. It's facts. As long as you're happy with whatever you're doing, however you're presenting yourself, whatever it is, that's all that should matter. People are always going to have opinions and are always going to have something to say. And you need to learn to just not give a fuck. Who cares if Charlie hates your outfit? Who cares if Charlie thinks it's weird that you're posting your life online? Who cares if so-and-so thinks it's crazy that you've decided to take time off work and go travel for 6 months? I don't know. Like anything. Like just let it go. Encourage yourself to just not give a fuck. Every single time a fear of being judged, of being seen, of being made fun of comes into your head, counteract it with fuck that. My opinion is the only one that matters. If it makes me happy, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do this, you know? And lastly, to end this off, how do you organize your life? Digital calendar, physical planner, etc. I used to use a physical planner a lot. I was using my passion planner for a really long time. And then I switched to Neats on Readers, Mind Your Business Planner. However, and I would use that coincidentally with my Google Calendar. However, since becoming self-employed, I only use my Google Calendar. And then I have a little to-do list pad from, I spoke about this last week, from Wild House Paper, just to write out what I have to do each day because I was finding I wanted like a physical list and like something to write on to kind of just get the thoughts in my head on paper, because a lot of the times I just like hold what I need to do in my head and then I just like feel too overwhelmed and I can't think properly. But in terms of like putting in plans and events and deadlines and things, it's all in my Google Calendar. I have a different color for like everything. So I have a color for my workouts, like I put my workouts in. I have a color calendar for my events, for plans with friends, for appointments, holidays, trips, like everything. I really live by my Google Calendar, which I love. And even my managers, like my talent manager, KJ and Jesse, put it in another calendar with like all my deadlines and deliverables for brand deals and stuff. So I love my Google Calendar. I used to use the Apple one, but I switched to Google a few years ago just to make it easier with like calendar invites and things with clients and contacts and stuff for business stuff. I really live by my Google Calendar, and I like that it's accessible on my computer, on my phone, on my iPad. I don't have to worry about carrying around a physical planner. If I need to put something in, I always have my phone with me. I may have my computer with me, so I can just access it like that. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this little bonus episode. If you did, make sure to leave a rating and review. I love when you guys leave little reviews for me. Give this a 5-star if you really liked it. That's how you can help support the pod. I love you guys so much, and I'll chat with you on Monday.
Judy was boring.
Hello.
Then Judy discovered ChumbaCasino.com.
It's my little escape.
Now Judy's the life of the party.
Oh, baby, mama's bringing home the bacon.
Whoa, take it easy, Judy. The Chumba life is for everybody. So go to ChumbaCasino.com and play over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+ terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Lucky Land Casino, asking people, what's the weirdest place you've gotten lucky?
Lucky? In line at the deli, I guess?
Aha, in my dentist's office. More than once, actually.
Do I have to say?
Yes, you do.
In the car before my kids' PTA meeting.
Really?
Yes.
Excuse me, what's the weirdest place you've gotten lucky?
I never win and tell.
Well, there you have it. You can get lucky anywhere, playing at LuckyLandSlots.com. Play for free right now. Are you feeling lucky? No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+ terms and conditions apply. See website for details.